God, Brain!
This must be the ship that was shot down. Are you pondering what I'm pondering? If I knew how to fly this thing, we could use it to defeat Zalgar.
Gee, Brain, looks just like something from Z-Files. This thingamajig is the steering wheel, and this whatchamahoos it runs the engine thrusters.
Pinky, at last, your mindless TV viewing is helpful.
Passion of the Christ. How far? 2017, we coming mean. We about to flow to the world block. What's up, Big 40? Lil Red, Levi Tracy. Here we come, baby. Part of a hustler, mind of a G. If the music jamming hard, then gon' let it be. Kicking rhymes out the mind, Grandmaster Bruce Lee. Rest in peace to Chad Butler, that's my nigga Pimp C. Want so much money, stomach knots in my pockets. Ballin' like I'm James Harden, coming from the Rockets. Ever drop off the top. Call me Macho Man Savage in the yard, going hard for the green and the caption. Two dope boys in the Cadillacs, and they selling dope rhymes like we're selling K-Packs. It's two dope boys in the Cadillacs, and they selling dope rhymes like we're selling K-Packs. Think I'm slipping on my Pippin and you hear of me, but they call me Triple H now with a pedigree. I'm birthing all your rappers like a pregnancy, cooking flows on your bros like it's chemistry. We keep it real in the field, there's no hosiery. We speak the real on the trio how it's supposed to be. So knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. She's a piece sit alone on a goddamn throne. Cause the pen is mighty than the sword, my lord. If we the truth up in the booth, then come aboard. Do the thing, let them hang, goddamn chain gang. Anticipation, domination like it's kicking in the brain. Ripping on this track like Devin the Dude. With more flow, rabbit shit to regroup. So oh dear, more clear transparency. Pressure of the Christ life is my legacy. So oh dear, more clear transparency. Pressure of the Christ life is my legacy. So oh dear, more clear transparency. Pressure of the Christ life is my legacy.
Ride around and we sippin' on what? 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 Ride around and we sippin' on what?
More bounce than an ounce. Got more money than the boys can count. Coming up, boy, like I'm from the sky. Bring it on down, yeah, we in the south. Fly, little birdie, we done got the worm. Soon as the smoke clear, I'll be there. Standing with the hogs in the midst of the fall. Started with a plot, now I built the firm. Heavy on game, we the hog pen. SOB, CEO. JR, you ain't make $1 million deal. Coming like a newborn out the cunt. Feeling like Jay-Z, no reasonable doubt. Me and Uncle Dave with the Seagram gin. 93 through 96. Check my background, all about the facts. Rack on top of racks, $1 million stack. Lower female that can hold their own. God bless a child that can hold his own. Everybody hold it, yeah, we playing the bones. Hard father always got the last domino. Colin Domino, the last Alamo. Rolling in a boat, a big old yacht. Seasick, but I ain't throwing up. It's all about my set, so I'm throwing up. Pouring up, going up. Burn all our enemies 1,000 degrees. Lord have mercy, let me make more cheese. They killing the seed, I'm a part of the seed. J.Ed.Hooga got it all on the scope. All eyes on me like I'm from death row. I'm feeling the dope, but I ain't saying no more.
Ride around and we sippin' on what? 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 Ride around and we sippin' on what?
This for my kinfolk. Done Ray Gotch. 7823, baby boy. You know how we do. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Coming soon, man. Get ready. Iconic-HoGGG's, baby.
Once upon a time in the projects, Once upon a time in the projects,
Once upon a time in the projects, yo.